and welcome to number 2 in our new series at Catalyst Youth UK with me, Antony.
And me, Darren.
Why are you laughing?
Because you did number 2. Sorry. It's just my but welcome, guys.
Welcome if you're watching on YouTube or listening on the podcast. If you listened to our last one last week or watched the video last week, we promised you hopefully it will be shorter this week.
It will be shorter. 100%.
We won't hear about Darren's career this week, so
yes, it's bound to be a lot shorter.
But for those of you that don't know us, Catalyst Youth UK, movement that works across the south of England, you can find us at www.catalystyouth.org.uk, and you can contact us at our email addresses, which you'll see on the screen now if you're watching on YouTube, or if you are on the podcast, you put my name or Darren's name at the beginning, and it's at catalystyouth.org.uk.
Easy peasy. This time you got it right.
I did. This time I didn't get confused and mess it up. But we thought today we're just going to chat. We're just going to see how it goes.
Yeah, we got things. I mean, Antony's been on holiday, so we can chat about that. I've not been on holiday. I've spent time painting our fencing. Exciting life of an adult.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a
the fence looks good.
Yeah.
I had a dream actually last night that somebody stole part of my fence. I have no idea why.
Wow, you need to get out more.
I do need to get out more, definitely. But yeah, so I just literally just chucked up the random generator like we did last time. I must apologise for those of you watching on YouTube that my eyes look really puffy. I think it's the reflection of something. My eyes aren't usually that puffy. Do you see that?
Yeah. Hay fever, innit?
But my eyes aren't puffy, though. It's kind of...
Oh.
It's like a shadow, unless my eyes really are puffing out.
For those of you that are listening on the podcast, Darren currently has his face right into the camera, so be glad that you are listening and not seeing.
Anyway, our random topic generator has chucked something up, and it says... How has technology changed the music industry?
Changed the music industry?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it has obviously changed from, the old days where you couldn't have a recorder and you had to just go and watch.
Yeah. What a question that is, though. I mean, I guess the first one to begin with, straight off, before we go into anything else, is the way we listen to music has changed with technology. As in the fact you don't really see cassettes anymore. Then you moved on to CDs. We had vinyl somewhere in there.
Vinyl was before tapes.
Vinyl, tapes, CDs. Then.
Do you remember the mini disc?
Yeah.
The little square in the square box mini disc that they tried to bring out that says gonna replace everything. I had one.
Did you?
It didn't replace everything.
I know that I used to have a Sony Walkman, but as in the CD one. And I always remember when we went away or went out for the day and I'd have it in the car, I'd also have to have a rucksack so I could have my CDs with me.
Wasn't that just like the worst invention ever, though, the portable CD player?
Ridiculous.
You couldn't ride your bike and have the CD player on you because it would just jump. And I remember years ago, when I was a kid, my parents used to go to Truck Fest because my stepdad's a lorry driver. He used to love Truck Fest. He used to see it's at the Shepperton Mallet Showground in Somerset. It was all right. It wasn't the best. I mean, some of it was a bit boring when you're walking around looking at trucks and going, well, there's a truck. There's another truck. Oh! Another truck. But the displays were good because they had motorcycles, did acrobatic display thingy that they did, and then the big monster trucks come in and smash up cars. That was always fun to watch.
Nice.
But I don't know where I was going with that. What we were saying?
The Walkman, the CD one,
and they always used to have the. They can't do it no more because I think the rules have all changed. But they had the credit card people. Sign up for our credit card and get a free gift. And usually the CD Walkman or the CD player was the free gift that they always gave away. So I remember my parents both signing up for one, or my mum and my stepdad both signed up for one. And we walked away with a CD player. They actually gave it to you there and then just for signing up.
Nice.
And then when the card came through, they both cancelled it. So
fair enough. Well, I think it's pretty obvious today then on the podcast and the video we're going to talk about music. Because I've thought of a few questions actually that I'm intrigued to know from you now. But before we do that, the original question was, how has technology changed the music industry? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've talked about how you listen to it. I guess the other one that's in place is if you listen to music now, it's a lot more synthesizers rather than bands.
Mm. Also, it doesn't cost you money anymore.
No.
Because a lot of stuff, you had to buy. I mean, you now can go onto YouTube or onto Spotify and all other major music free outlets online, and actually listen to them for free. Whereas before, you'd either have to buy the CD or the tape or the vinyl, or wait for it to come on the radio.
Mm.
And I mean, I remember when I was a kid, another childhood story. I don't know if does Radio 1 still do the top
40?
Yeah. Do they still do that on a Sunday?
Yeah, they do, but I'm sure when I've tried to listen to it before, they never do like all 40 anymore.
Oh, right. Well, they used to do all 40, and it was absolutely brilliant. And I remember the top 10 always used to be the best ones. And I used to pirate copy the things by recording the top 40. So you press the record and the play button down at the same time on the actual stereo. And then you stood there next to the pause button. So as soon as the guy started talking, you'd quickly press pause, wait for him to finish talking, and then the next song will come on, then you unpause it again. You kept doing that through the whole of the top 10.
Yeah. Wow.
Good old days.
Proper changed music, isn't it?
It has. I mean, I just love it now because, I've already mentioned that I painted my fence, but I was out there doing it on my own to start with. And it was just nice that I literally just stuck up Spotify and chucked on this amazing playlist called Holiday and was listening to that whilst painting the fence.
You were listening to... Oh, who made the playlist Holiday?
That would be you.
That would be me. You were listening to my playlist while you were painting your fence.
I was actually listening. And I'm trying to find the first song that played. And I was like... Because I stood in the kitchen and I was thinking... what should I put on? There's always one of those things. What should I listen to whilst painting the fence? And then I thought I'll just do Antony's playlist, and I just pressed the random play at the top, so it like shuffle plays it, and there it is. It was Bittersweet Sympathy, the Verb, and I just thought, do you know what? I'm listening to this playlist because if it's got a song like that on it, it must be good.
Yes, what a song that is.
If you've not heard of it, where have you been? Have you been living under a rock? Go and listen to it. It is an amazing song. Amazing. Yeah.
Well, that leads on to my next question then that I want to ask, because I'm intrigued and I'm trying to think of my answer as well. But what was the first single and what was the first album that you ever bought? So 2 questions. First single, first album.
My first single... Okay, this is I'm older than Antony.
Can I just pause you for a second? For anyone that maybe it's in that age bracket that doesn't know what a single is, you used to be able to find the actual solo songs on CD, because what I've noticed now is people release their singles, but I'm sure you can never buy them as a CD anymore.
I've never seen them as CDs anymore. I've only ever seen albums come out.
Because I know everyone's going to know what a single is because you can download it on iTunes and Spotify and stuff, but you literally used to buy them as a CD. And correct me if I'm wrong, anyone that's listening, can you still get them?
I don't know.
So, but anyway, what was your first single?
My first single was a song called Living in a Box.
Right.
And it was on vinyl.
Yeah.
Because that's how old I am. I was born in the 80s. So vinyl and tapes and CDs were just coming out. I think it was the end of the 80s maybe that CDs came out. I don't know. answers in the comments if you know the exact date. You probably do, 'cause you'll probably Google it. But yeah, so it was just coming out, tapes were around, and it was Living in a Box, and I'm just trying to see if I can literally find the song, Living in a Box.
Who was it by?
I can't remember, that's why I'm trying to find it. Hang on.
That's amazing. Oh dear.
Here it is. Hang on.
You can try and play it. We've lost it.
Lost it.
Oh, there we go. Hold it there.
Anyway, I won't play it for too long because we'll probably get some sort of
copyright.
If you want to find it, it's called Living in a Box, and I think they're actually called Living in a Box. That band's called Living in a Box. But that was my first ever single I ever bought, and I used to love it. It was just the chorus is, "I'm living in a box, doo-doo. I'm living in a cardboard box. I'm living in a box, doo-doo." What about you? What was your first single?
See, no, the singles one I find really hard. I can't remember what my first song was. I know, I know when I was really young, I didn't buy it, but my first single that anyone ever bought for me was the Teletubbies theme song on tape.
I am truly sorry for all of you out there. If I knew this, 7 years ago, we wouldn't be in this position now.
But the first single I bought, I genuinely don't know. I remember buying Daniel Powter "Bad Day" as a single.
So literally, you decide on these questions, yet you do not know the answer.
That's what I was saying. I can do the album, but Daniel Powter "Bad Day" I remember buying as a single, but that came out in like 2005, so I must have bought stuff before that. Although I would have only been...
You'd been 11 at that point, weren't you? Were you born in 94?
Yeah.
You born in 94?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in second year of school then. So I was in year 8 at the time. Okay, what's your album then?
I'm just looking up another single that I bought just to see if that comes before 2005, because then... Oh no, that was 2005 as well. The Noise Next Door, Calendar Girl. That was another one I bought. The album, the first album that I got was Westlife, Coast to Coast.
Yeah, actually, I quite like Westlife. They're all right.
I don't know what year that came out in. I will quickly look it up.
I'm just trying to see when Living in a Box did Living in a Box.
That came out in 2000. Westlife, Coast to Coast. So, yeah. The single one is a hard one though, because I must have had loads before that. I just can't feel where they were.
Fair enough.
What was your first album?
Well, that was so. Living in a Box was 1987, and I remember I bought it in Western Supermare in the shopping centre next to the multi-story car park. I know the exact place because it's like it was a big moment, because I've never had a record before, and I was 6 years old.
Nice.
It's probably one of my early memories, actually. But I remember one of the other ones I did buy that I must apologise to all those listening and watching is, do you remember that Yellow Polka Dot Bikini?
Yeah.
I don't know why I bought that. Because now you listen to it and think, oh, how cheesy is that song?
But what was your first album?
The first album I ever bought myself I mean, we had music in the house, so we had things like all the Now albums, which if you know me, you'll know that I've got every Now album ever made. Now that's what I call music, 1 to 105 at the moment. It's one of those things that I started, so I must continue. It's a bit of an OCD coming in there. Yeah. But my first album was Stereophonics.
Oh, nice.
And that was on CD. And I think I wore it out. I played it that much in my car.
That's a winner.
I'm just trying to see. I think it was their first album actually. Back in is it 92?
Probably something like that.
I'm just trying to see.
I have a story about Stereophonics in the fact that for anyone that knows my mum, she won't mind me talking about this. For anyone that knows my mum, she loves things like the Osmonds, David Essex, Cliff Richard, all that sort of stuff.
I hope you're not going to compare them to Stereophonics.
No.
If you put Cliff Richard in.
No, this is what I was going to say. And when we moved, I was sorting all the CDs and I was doing it in here's dad's, here's mum, here's mine. Everyone go through, see what we can get rid of sort of thing. And I found Stereophonics single, Handbags to Glad Rags. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. Found that single, immediately put it in dad's pile. Turns out it's my mum's. I was like, how does Stereophonics fit into this pile at all? I don't understand.
Actually, it wasn't their first album. It was that album, their Performance and Cocktails. So I remember that cover.
Okay.
So for those of you watching at home, that was the cover.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I just couldn't remember what the thing was. And yeah, absolutely amazing album. So that was the first album. That was back in 1999 that came out, that one.
Nice.
So I was 18 at that point. So I was working full time, so I had my own money.
Yeah.
And then when you get pocket money, it just wasn't enough for an album because they were expensive. But yeah, it was.
That's cool. I mean, I'm the same as you, though. Like, I grew up around loads of music. Like, as I say, my mum's listening to all that sort of stuff. My dad's on the other end. He had like Led Zeppelin, The Who, Pink Floyd.
Oh, really? Well, yeah. My mum was the Carpenters, Bay City Rollers, and various other things. My nan was a vinyl lady. She still got vinyls and a vinyl player.
So do I. That's so cool.
My nan's got, which I want to try and get before the rest of the family jump in when she passes away, is she's got the original Sound of Music vinyl that came out when the movie did. That's worth a bit of money.
I was going to say, I hope you're getting it just for the cost, not for the Sound of Music itself.
I do like the Sound of Music, by the way. I quite like music, so there you go. And
yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So so that was my mum's. My stepdad was very much into Queen, which was quite nice because I quite enjoy Queen. Yeah. So is my stepmom actually. She was into Queen. She's got some of the original Queen vinyls as well. So if I can ever nab them one day, that'd be really cool.
I think we have one original. The rest are like second edition or something.
Yeah, she's also got a few DVDs of their performance, their concerts.
Nice.
It was recorded. I've got a video player just down there. Another thing that's gone, but still around if you can find them. But my dad was very much into country music. He was he liked country. That was his kind of thing. And we used to listen to some really weird stuff in the car with him when we were kids. I can't even remember the names of the artists. I will try and I'll speak to my dad and ask him which ones it is.
Yeah.
So I can let you know, Antony, and you can have a listen to some of the stuff that I was brought up with.
Yeah.
But I think music-wise, it's a massive thing in a family. Because I didn't think of it until now, but everything was centered around music. We've got, when we went out to trips in the car, there would always be tape would go into the tape player in the car, and
Yeah.
we would listen to whatever rubbish Dad wanted to listen to. We were never allowed to listen to the radio. We'd listen to modern songs, not with the parents in the car. It's their songs, and it's like their car. When I'm old enough to get my own car, that's when I can decide what's on the radio. Sorry, there must be a childhood thing coming out there. But yeah, and a lot of things that we do always revolves around music, and even when it comes to church as well. Just chucking in a bit of church here, so it links with what we do for a living.
Yeah.
That also, again, is a lot to do with music, and a lot to do with worship. And I think with music, when we were younger and growing up, I think it kind of transforms ourselves back to that time.
Yeah.
And we can get immersed in that music. Like when I was painting the fence, I was ignoring everything else that was going on around me. I was just literally concentrating on painting, because it's the most boring thing you can ever do in your life. When you've got literally, I had the whole of the front garden and the whole of the back garden to do. Yeah. It's just boring adult stuff. But once you've got a decent album on, or a decent playlist,
you're welcome.
I actually ran out. The painting took that long.
3.5 hours long.
Have you seen how many bleeding picket fence things I had to paint in front? Yeah, you just get immersed in that world, don't you? You just forget about what's going on around you. And I know I can lay in bed and do the same. I can put some music on and just chill out to some music.
Yeah, and I know you're saying about church and how it's an important thing as well. And I think that's why it's harder at the moment with, when do we go back to church? Because you're told that you can't worship and you can't sing. And actually, it's a vital thing. I mean, anyone that knows what we do, when we do youth camps or we do different events, we will always try and incorporate music somewhere, even if it is just us saying, you guys should listen to this or you guys should do that. But also connecting back to what you said about how growing up with it takes you back. I remember being younger and my dad listened to a band called Kayak. Have you ever heard of Kayak?
I don't think I have.
So I haven't heard of them since, and I haven't heard anyone else ever talk about them. But I remember they did a song. They did a song called
Just
Royal.
write that one down.
They did a song called Royal Bed Bouncer, right? So
Royal Bed Bouncer.
Yeah. And I remember always being like, put that one on. I never listened to the rest of the album, only that song. I found it here. Are you ready? This is how the song starts, and it shows me why it is stuck in my head. Honestly,
or the whole way through.
No. Oh. It goes on like that for a while, and then suddenly it goes, Royal Bed Bouncer, and then it goes back to it. It's like, what? And probably if I listen to it further, it probably has a really good riff or something. But honestly, as a child, you hear that and you go, I'm going to play this everywhere I go.
Well, it's like living in a box. Listening to it now, or just doing the words in my head, all I think of is homeless people, and I don't know if it was really directed at homeless people.
No.
But I don't know what it is. So if anybody knows anything about the band Living in a Box, so we woke up this morning closed in on both outsides, nothing doing. I feel resistant. It says living in a box, living in a cardboard box, living in a box, living in a cardboard box, living in a box. Life goes in circles around and around, circulating. I sometimes wonder what's moving underground. I'm escaping. Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, but what I want to say is, anyone that's listening to this or watching this, we'd love to hear what songs remind you of your childhood, whatever age you are. Because the reason I say this is, I had a young person a couple of years ago now put "Teenage Dirtbag" by Wheatus on.
Great song,
right? Great song, but came out when I was younger, and they went, "God, this is retro." And I didn't think I'd reached that yet. I didn't think I was there yet.
Yeah, afraid to. you're a different generation now to those that are younger.
So I'd love to hear what songs you guys remember from your childhood and your memories of parents listening, or if you are someone older listening to this, what you remember anyway, because it's always great to hear what was in your house, because you can tell a lot. Like, you can always have good conversations there. I think it can always lead on to something else, as we've proven here.
Yeah, I mean, for my household at the moment, I mean, Sarah doesn't listen to very much music, only because like she doesn't have any on her phone, because I've got loads of music. We've got a Spotify family account, so they've all got their own little account. Brendan is into modern music that's out at the moment, as well as worship music. He plays a lot of Rend. I have no idea what I've created there.
Is the
a monster.
What's that? A worship monster.
Is it a monster?
It's a worship monster.
Yeah, but I think it's really cute to see him at the moment, because I think he's in that innocent age. And I know when it comes to some, when you get to youth age, worship music isn't that cool. Sometimes people, and being a Christian isn't that cool when you're at school. People don't look at it as that, like, wow, you're a Christian, you're so cool. Or
you cool.
You cool.
I want to be like you.
But, you know, I think we need to move away from that sort of perspective on Christians, especially when you're younger, because you don't know what you believe when you're younger. You know, you may have a really, really firm faith, or sometimes you just have a little bit of a rocky faith. You know, it doesn't really matter when you're younger. Just stick with it and just go with what your gut is telling you to go with.
Yeah, and I think if you can do it, if you can sit down and find some worship music, or give myself or Darren a text or something and say, what would you recommend? There's some great stuff out there that actually it works as Christian music, but it's also a great track that you can listen to even if you're not sure about it. But it's also one where you can listen and it might make you go, oh, I have a question here, or I feel good about this, I want to know more, sort of thing.
And there's lots of Christian artists out there who don't do worshipy songs.
No.
You know, they proclaim themselves and say that we are Christians, but our songs aren't like all to do with God. Yeah. I mean, they obviously do music to glorify God, you know, and it doesn't matter. You could be singing about God or not singing about God. You're still glorifying Him. Yeah. And we can give you some of those bands to listen to as well. You know, it doesn't all have to be worship. There is other music out there, and you know, I think there's even a Bible verse that even says about all music is breathed from God or something like that. There's Antony will talk to you quickly now. Well, I try and find that Bible verse because I think it's really important.
Yeah, but as Darren says, there's bands out there that they don't necessarily have to be singing about God. They don't have to be singing about Jesus, but they proclaim themselves to be Christian bands. One of Darren and mine favourite bands, the Abrams, Christian band. I think I can think of one song where maybe they will mention it. Another band that I've been listening to a lot lately, and Darren has also been listening to a lot lately, is a band called Needtobreathe. They are a Christian band.
New album just came out a few days ago. Really good, by the way.
But they are a Christian band. But again,
we'll put the link in the description.
Again, they don't preach in all they do. They don't worship in all they do.
There is a couple of songs though that actually you do hear about God in it.
Yeah, they do. Needtobreathe have a whole album out.
But the rest of the songs are like just normal run of the mill. You know, and I really enjoy it.
And if you want to listen to someone like Needtobreathe because you want to know more about them, but you're not sure where to start, I would recommend their album Hard Love, because it basically has a bit of everything they do. It has the fast stuff, the slow stuff, and the stuff in between. So that would be a great one to start.
And if you like their acoustic, or you like acoustic music, they got an acoustic album, Volume 1. They haven't done a Volume 2, so you ain't going to get confused. So we're waiting for the Volume 2 to come out. I'm hoping it does, because I quite like acoustic stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. I can't find that Bible verse.
That's okay. Read the Bible. Find it yourselves.
Yeah, if you find it, answer it in the description. I can't find, but I'm sure I've read it somewhere.
Yeah.
I might be completely and utterly wrong, but there we go.
But I reckon that's probably quite a nice place to finish today.
I do. Timer is telling me that we've been about 27 minutes. I started the timer late, so we'll say about half an hour. So let us know what kind of music you listen to. Any recommendations? That's what they can do. Yeah. Give us a recommendation of a song or album that you absolutely love, and it's your go-to album for whatever reason. So we can have a listen and see if we like it as well.
In fact, what we'll do, you can put that in the comments on YouTube. I don't know if you can comment where the podcast will be, but if you can put it there. But the other thing we will do, we will set a forum page up on our website, www.catalystyouth.org.uk, and we will
There's
just...
an extra W at the beginning, by the way, guys. The World Wide Web, www.
I even heard it and thought that was the case. But we will put a new forum discussion up, which we literally can just call music recommendations. Chuck your albums in there, your singles in there, your songs, your hopes, whatever.
And we'll stick on like Needtobreathe. We'll bung them in there, and some of the other artists or bands that we quite like as well. We'll just
And as you probably all know, Darren and I continue to write a lockdown blog. We're going to have to think of a new title rather than lockdown blog soon, because we're not actually in lockdown.
The semi-lockdown blog?
Semi-lockdown blog? The post-lockdown blog? We could just call it
a blog.
But watch out for that, because we're always thinking of ideas to talk about, and from this conversation, you can pretty much bet my next one's going to be on music. So.
Yeah, and we're probably just going to stick to probably one a week now, aren't we? We're going to do...
Yeah.
I think we were being a bit ambitious during lockdown because we had a lot more time on our hands, so we were able to do one each a week. But now things are starting to move forward and it's getting busier. Yeah. I think if I do one week and Antony do one the following week, then it also gives us a week off of something.
Look out for them being published at any time between Monday to Friday.
Possibly Saturday or Sunday, depending what's going on. Our aim is to try and get... if you know us and you've been around us and you've been to our groups, you know it'll be there eventually.
And what you will notice is we originally put our aim to do a Wednesday, which meant it was smack bang in the middle. So we were clever there, because we went either side. We went, it's all right, it's still close.
But yeah, so check out our blog. Hope you have enjoyed this week's podcast. I feel that we need to have a sponsor. So if anybody would like to sponsor us,
but if we have a sponsor, then we have to be careful what we talk about and stuff, because we then be...
I mean, we could do the... would you get copyrighted if we do what Chris Ramsey does on his podcast?
Definitely would. And we definitely should not promote that podcast on here.
No, okay. We won't then.
Well, we're going to finish there.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a blast.
It's been great.
It's been really good to talk. If you've got anything you want us to talk about, send that in as well. We need
topics. You've just seen what happened there. We literally found one question and it led us onto a whole new conversation. So if you can give us a topic, we'll find somewhere to go with it.
Definitely. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyway, we're off.
Was that like an impression of me mixed with Brian Blessed? Was that?
Pretty much, yeah. I was going. I got the beard for Brian Blessed.
Right, cool it.
Okay. Anyway, it's goodbye from him,
and it's goodbye from him. See you soon.
Cheers.